Welcome, guys. All right. Welcome, everyone. Jump in. All right. Welcome. I'll give it a few more minutes before I start. Okay. All right. We're going to begin. Okay. So, welcome, guys. Let's do this. Okay. Welcome, guys, to another live analysis session. So, let's dive straight in. Okay. So, I'm going to start with pound USD. So, the price is returning to this area right here. And I haven't set a pending order, but I'm keeping my eyes out for what the price might do when we get to this area here. Okay. Now, I'm watching the price action to see how the price behaves. What do we get as the price moves forward? Pound USD, we're looking for this return right here. We had this price action manipulation here and then price pulling back. But my only concern, even though we've had market structure break, is that it stayed in this supply zone quite smugly. And it seems like it may actually continue short instead of going long. So as much as I would like to put an entry, I'm still kind of wary. I know the price took several lows on its way down, and we are approaching some very important areas of price action, but I'm still considering whether we're going for a short. Now, what I'm upset about is that the short that was supposed to be caught, we missed that one. That was a great short, uh, you know, but I'm expecting the price to, I'm going to watch to see what the price does. Okay. Now, I am still in the Bitcoin trade. Let's have a look at that. I think the price has actually reversed the other way. All right. So Bitcoin has closed above my area. So above my pink line that I was looking for. Now, I'm not so fussed if this was a loss. It was worth taking the trade, as I always say. It's better to take the trade if you can take the trade financially than to not take the trade. Now, for me, I think the price is getting too strongly bullish. Now, I think what's my maximum loss? I always said that I would keep my loss around about 25, something like that. So what I'm going to do, I'll wait a few more minutes. But to me, the price action, now what I will do is if the price does break above, then we can continue with the long. But if the price, as I said to you, that we have many options for us to get the entry. If the price decides to push a little bit higher on Bitcoin, just to recap on this before I move forward, then we'll be going for a trade like this. Now, at the moment, from here, the price is still at the edge of the area that I am. This is why I put my stop loss a little bit higher, around about 36 here, just so that I could cover, what the price was trying to do over here. Now, this movement we had here, we had a very strong spike down, and I got excited for a moment because the price was in profit and I thought we are going to get the drop. Now, price still looks a bit bullish. So the hard thing is that when it comes to price action analysis, guys, one of the things that is required for you to be able to actually capture good movements would be this thing here, which is to watch out for the timing. Now, because on the H1, I had the supply zone marked out on the H1, or I have supply zones marked out on the H1 here. I have one here, and I have another. I'll even use this one, another right here. Or I could just use this wide one, whichever you want. This wide area here. This is where really I'm basing my, stop loss on. you know. Now the price may actually push a bit higher, and I've already got a plan, guys. If Bitcoin, I do know that Bitcoin is going to go short for sure. This gap needs to be filled at one point or another. So I'm not disheartened if the price doesn't do it at, my exact point of where I wanted it to. I still believe in the short anyway. What I would say instead, what I would do is drag this across here. I may be lucky and get out at break even. Who knows? The price may just pull down right now and give me a break even kind of movement here. Or the price actually will just hit my stop loss, or I'll close up beforehand and then we just call it a day. Now, if that happens, all I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this same area. So I'm going to, as I said to you, this 15-minute area was really the crux of everything. Just bring this a bit lower. So this 15-minute demand zone area is where the price really kind of held in and then continued to go short. Now, I should have been a bit wiser, and I would say this because it's important that before I go on with the FX analysis, that it would have been wiser for me to have, if I had seen this accumulation here and decided, but because the price moved quite quickly, and that's why I said with crypto, guys, you can't go and do it like you trade Forex. All right. The price doesn't give many chances for you to be able to make mistakes. If you don't have the capital, all right, and you definitely are an emotional trader and you haven't matured to a place where you're not, don't get involved in crypto trading whatsoever, because it would blow your account and it will hurt you quite dearly. Okay. Don't try to enter trades without a stop loss. Okay, that's another important thing. Don't try that, because that would not work. If you enter trades without a stop loss, you could be in trouble with some serious movement. Now, I am mapping out something here that I could actually break even still. No, that's not my main goal, but I just want to see what the price does down here. Okay. Now, because my entry or my stop loss is at a round number, I could possibly get stopped out by quite a bit before the price actually does the reversal. All right. And the price may not come back. So what I'm watching for right now, based on Bitcoin, for those of you who wanted to get involved with this Bitcoin trade, all right, is to see how the price behaves in this area here. Still kind of balancing in here and between these two areas. And I'm hoping to see the price reverse a little bit. I know the short is going to happen. I think it's quite clear. Maybe we might not actually even get it today, but tomorrow. But either way, I'm not going to let up on the short. Okay. I'm also watching XRP as well, because XRP has had a strong spike here too. And I'm expecting the price to fall down short too. It's actually spiked into the perfect area for a sell. It broke past this first area. And as I said, I'll do the same thing. If the price breaks back beneath this area, then I'll use this same area to continue going short. Okay, so I'm not so surprised if the price does what it does. It hasn't actually technically broken out of any of the areas yet. It has kind of done this movement here, but trading Bitcoin for a while now in cryptos, there's many movements of this nature where the price kind of does these moves, spikes up quite a bit, and then after goes where you were expecting it to go. All right. But as I said, it's very easy to recoup your losses if you do this right. So as I say, don't be upset at all with the price action. It's just that you got to consider the spread. For me, I could consider the spread and take this a little bit higher or something like that. But I'll be managing it manually, for example. And then after from there, I'll make a decision on what to do. The other option is, again, for those of you watching, you'd want to take a break beneath here, and then that will be your safety spot. So I'm just going to watch this carefully later on. I have it on both charts so I can switch between them at any time. I have the order box open. I know you can't see my other screen here, but on my other screen, I have Bitcoin here ready to close at any time if I need to do a fast close, as I call it, and then we can move off from there. Now, okay. So first of all, gold is preparing for what we're looking for. Apologies for that. Just made this screen big. And gold moving short now is moving towards what I said. We still have a bit more time before the price actually does the move I expect. I'm watching how the price behaves at the low. Now, Bitcoin and gold actually have an inverse relationship for different reasons, and it's interesting to see the price going short. So maybe should be good to close as well. All right. But anyway, moving forward here, I want to see how the price behaves, and I'm willing to see what we get from the price action here. But I think, you know what, looking at this, let me just be wise. All right. I will, all right, switch it here. That's it. That's better. All right. So looking at gold here on the H4, I'm watching for the price to attack this low and see what happens at this low, what kind of reaction we get. Finally, guys, after the price has broken the range, we actually have the gap being filled now. So the market just filled the gap not too long ago right here. And so I want to see how the price reacts now that it's filled the gap and now it's coming towards this low. I want to see how it's going to react with this low. So I'm going to mark this out here. And this is really the crux of what I'm looking at for price action movements. Okay. Now, NZDJPY was another trade we're looking at, and I'll come back to it. The price did break this M30 area and did go for a short. Our stop loss would have been above. Kind of gutted about this one because I think I was too focused on other things to capture it, but it was great. It was great as a trade anyway. Okay. Now I'm hoping to see what we'll go for, like moving forward, what we get. I'm going to go to pound USD. Now, as again, pound USD is approaching this RTO place, but there's a part of me that wants to take the trade. Okay. The part of me that wants to go for the long, but now I want to be a bit more observant just to see what the price does in this area. Again, there are many opportunities to enter, guys, and sometimes the best entry is not always the sharpest entry. Is the entry that you're the most comfortable with, okay, and gives you the most room to risk manage. Okay, now I'm not saying that sharp entries are not good, but if you can do all three, then you're a star. Okay, so pound USD is approaching this area back here, return to this order block, and I want to see how it behaves when it gets in there. Okay, Euro USD. All right, we didn't actually get the return we wanted. We had a different kind of price action movement here. The price has pushed short and is continuing to go short. Now, Euro USD already, I said it from before, that when we looked at the D1 here, you can see the price structure a lot better, all right, as to what the price is really trying to do. When the price returned to this significant demand zone here, we didn't have the return to demand. So when the price got the chance, it broke right through. We had the first manipulative move and the second. And we've had, after this manipulative move, you can see the price is going short. Now, remember where our targets are. Our targets are right around about here. Okay, as I said to you, that in this market right now, there isn't enough demand. There isn't strong enough demand for us to get the kind of price action that we should all be expecting, which is for the price to come back and fill the gap which was created from the FOMC news. Rather, what we're seeing here is we have the price pulling back down to stronger areas of demand. The only demand area that I can see on this price action from the D1 anyway would be the fact that we have a supply zone here. The price is broken above and reused it for a demand zone. So a return here, there's enough pools of liquidity here for us to be able to get a strong buy. And hence why the double bottom formation we had over here will not last. And sooner or later, the price was going to go short. This is why it was short-lived, okay? So I'm watching now to see how the price is going to tackle this area. And I'm hoping to see, more movement soon. Now, my alarm is ringing, telling me that Bitcoin has got back to this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my loss as small as possible. I do think the price is going to go short. I'm just going to quickly check on Ripple and see what's happening here. So Ripple is making its way short. Bitcoin is struggling a little bit, but Bitcoin, if XRP is pushing short, these all should push short together. All right, so we have a little bit more time. All right, so my alarm just rang. All right, so I think I'm going to keep my losses as it is. It's hit my stop loss originally, so I think I'm going to close out for now. And if it gives another entry, then we'll go again. So, okay, fine. It didn't really do exactly what we want. Where are we? So before I close, I always do a quick check around where I am, just in case. All right, so here we are. We're back in this area. Let's see. So as a trader, guys, you got to be on your toes as well. I'm always on my toes when I'm looking at the market. I always try to, even though I've got a stop loss, I never want to be the guy that just gets stopped out by my stop loss. I don't mind risking a little bit more or a little bit less, depending on what's going on. If I go right here, I still believe that the price is going to come back here on the M1. So this is what's kind of going through my mind. Should I close and re-enter a bit higher, or should I let the price do what it's doing? I'm intrigued to see how the price is going to navigate around here, because it keeps balancing around my area. So, all right, since it's not, I'll use the other chart, my other screen, to continue. All right, back to the analysis anyway. So I think I see why we had a big drop. So you see what gold has just done now with this drop here. So gold has just attacked the low as we're speaking. So it's soon time to enter gold for the long. It's doing exactly what we want. So be prepared, guys, for what the price will do. Let's go back to where we are. So pound USD is doing something similar, but I'm still not reacting to it just yet. And USD CAD is still hanging in the same place. So the markets are getting quite hot today. It's interesting to see what we have for a Monday. Now, AED USD, look at that go. So the price is already pushing heavily short now. So we should be going for, be prepared for some strong movements on that note. So, all right, let's look at the rest of the market and see what's going on here. All right. All right, so I'm closing my position for Bitcoin on the other chart because I think that the price is still having a bit of a bullish ride, even though I think it will go bearish very soon. But just for the sake of being protective over the account, right, you want to just keep the loss minimal. So closing that out. Okay, cool. All right. So let's see what's going on in these markets. Now I'm being a bit more on board and fast because I want to see what the price is doing. I think I'll open up some new charts just for us to scan through and see what the market is giving us. All right. All right. Now, because I'm watching this, and now if you see me quiet anytime you see me quiet, that means I'm just watching the markets very carefully to see what's going on. And from observing Euro USD, it looks like the US dollar is taking the main stance here with the price action. Euro USD is, I mean, not Euro USD itself as in the currency pair, but the US dollar itself is showing signs of strength and strengthening. Okay. So for that reason, this is why if I go to pound USD, I'm not inclined to want to take it, even though in reality, the price should have done the long. I'm still worried that the price may break beneath and continue from looking at the price action, even though it has all the features that I would personally be looking for. I'm slightly concerned that the price might actually not do the efficiency that I believe it wants to fill, and that the price may actually continue to go short. So this is why I'm not touching pound USD. If it does do a long, then my entry is going to be quite far up. I'd rather use this bull trap manipulation bar here as a reoptimization to go along. But aside from that, I'm more concerned, like if I go and try to get an entry in here, will I be setting myself up? Now, this is where risk management is important. All right. If you're already in a drawdown, you don't want to go further and put yourself in a better drawdown. And it's good to observe, okay, what the market is doing. So I'm going to watch pound USD with a pinch of salt. I did give this trade out. If this does go long, it would be fantastic. But I'm still watching to see what's going on here. Okay. All right. Let's see. So I'm scanning through the pairs just to see what's going on. So USD JPY just gave an entry. We just missed the entry for USD JPY. It was right here. This is what I was looking at. The price just gave us a perfect entry right now. Is there any way we can capture it? Yes, we can. If you wanted to capture this, I'm going to throw this out to you guys on the YouTube as well in the community. If you see a break above here with the body of the candle, then we could go for a long right here. This is my proposal. So I'm going to try to capture USD JPY because it does really look like the US dollar is gaining some strength here. So this break above here would be a fantastic movement. Now we do have news, and I will open up FX Street as well for us to look at that and see what's going on. But I'm looking for this entry. So I'm going to set an alarm here. If this happens, then this is a great scalp trade to continue in this bullish pattern here. I like this trade quite a bit. And I'll be aiming for, first of all, these highs right here, and then the highs above here. So if we get a stop loss of about 2 pips here, this is all we need, about 2 pips, and we get 37, let's call it 40 pips, then we should be laughing. All right, so I say keep your eyes peeled on that, guys, and let's watch what the price does. I'm really excited with this market. It seems like we're about to get some serious movement. This is why I'm a bit more antsy with the price, and I'm analyzing and watching at the same time, because we're in a good market right now. I think the market is, remember, we do have NFPs this week, so don't be surprised if the price does wild things during the week. All right, but AED USD already has gone. It re-entered into the supply zone. It did what I was talking about, which is the flip zone here. It's already returned to supply and it's just tanked down. All right. already tanked down already. If there was a chance to get into this, then we'll look for one, but the price has already kind of tanked down. So let's move on to the next one. All right. So as I said to you, that I'm very strongly now, this is the trade I talked about yesterday. Look how much it's taken off. From this movement here, we had an A to B swing, and here's the C now. The price has done a very strong C to D movement already. It didn't even give us a chance to come back, but look at that. From where we were looking at, the price has done another 90 pips. All right. If the price was to still give us some chance to get in there, that would be fantastic. And I do believe that this is going to be a very strong. I believe the Australian dollar has some weakness to come on it before we see the very strong bullish run for a little while. I really wish we can get an entry on this. If the price provides one, guys, then be prepared to get one. All right, Euro GBP. Let's see. All right, I'm not really a fan of Euro GBP, as I've told you guys. It reminds me of USD JPY, but just a London European session version. Just watching to see where the market is so that we can capture things as we're going along. Now, AUD CAD has given us a brilliant drop, and it should continue. It's fantastic here. But okay, we'll have to wait. All right. So I'm going to scan through now. This is my normal, for those of you, especially if you're not my student, you wouldn't know. You are my students because you're on YouTube and you study my stuff. But for those of you who are my students who know me personally in our inner group, you know that I like to scan through every pair. And I always say it should only take you about 30 seconds to know whether a trade is good or not. Like, for example, this trade here on AUD JPY, as soon as I saw the price here, I knew we had a drop. It's just that timed it a bit badly and we missed out on all of this beautiful activity here. But we'll be looking for an entry, guys. I'll post it in our group for a re-entry that we can capture on the way down because we still have some good short potential there. All right, let's look at EuroCAD from the H1 and see. Nothing on there. Now, I am very picky personally, and I think picky is a good thing. There's nothing wrong with it. All right. I'd rather be a picky trader than a picky eater sometimes. All right, because being picky will save you a lot of money from on your trading account. Trust me. If you're not picky and you just fall for everything, trust me, you're going to end up in a really bad state. Now, NZD USD, all of these price actions are leading to one way for a very strong short. This is why I'm so reluctant to go and say, okay, go long, because I think the US dollar is still not strengthening. My bad, sorry guys. I do think that the US dollar is weakening temporarily before it gets strong again on some pairs, and then on other pairs we have the reverse. So we have an interesting market here moving forward. Let me look at AUD JPY. Okay, that's already gone. All right, silver is making its way down for the short. Again, guys, with silver is a very good alternative to trading gold, especially if you're trading it, MetaTrader 4 CFD. All right, you can get a very good lot size for a small amount of money to help you grow your account. Okay, for those of you who don't know, one of my staff members, Alexandro, he turned £6.20, £7, sorry, into £620 over a week. When gold made a new all-time high, he managed to capture some longs with 0.01 on silver. Okay, but because silver allows you to have such small margin to take the trades, it allowed for him to be able to turn a very small account into something quite substantial, okay, from the money he started with. Now I'm looking at silver, and again, I expect a short before a long. And I'm just waiting for where the price is going to really give us our entry. For now, the price is still pushing short, so we're going to have to hang in there. But I'm hoping to see some sort of action soon. For now, there's not much we could say about silver apart from weight. Gold is a lot more clear as to what the price is doing, and we've done a lot more deeper detail analysis on that. Okay, but in the meantime, let me scan through and continue with where we are. In this market right now, is probably going to be a very active live trading style thing that we're going to have to do to get some entries because the price is moving quite quickly. All right, oil's not really doing much of my fancy at the moment. Let's look at US 30. Same scenario. Now, US 30 actually is presenting a possibly good entry. Only thing that I'm watching out for is that because we're making new all-time highs every time the price does a new high, we are in danger of getting ourselves trapped on the wrong side of the market. So I personally don't like to trade the US 30 all the time because it does have a lot of indices have quite a lot of manipulation on them because of the institutional investment and interest in them. So Sometimes I prefer to stay away from them and trade things that are correlated with them rather than the indices themselves. Okay, because you could really be on the wrong side and lose a lot of money very quickly. Okay, so although I take risks, my risks are always calculated. By the way, I didn't close Bitcoin because I could see the price action is providing something that may just give us the short. So I'm still in Bitcoin right here. I'm at the edge of the price. I didn't close it just yet because I'm watching something and I think the price is going to give us one more short. I might leave this with break even, but I see that the price wants to sell off one more time. So I'm holding on to it just a bit. Okay, just a little bit more. That's not my common practice, but in this case, from what I see from the H1, I see what the price is potentially trying to do. So I might just hang in there with it just to see how that fares out. Okay, so I'm not closing it as of yet. All right. So I'll come back to gold in a moment, but I just want to scan through these pairs just to see how the price is behaving. So Pound USD has done this entry. I'm not going to be tempted to get in there right yet, but we're just going to hold on and see. Let's see what the rest of the market is doing. H1, nothing good on here right now. Pound AUD is the same. Pound CAD is the same, nothing good in there. But I just want you guys to see this, guys, and this is why I was talking about greed. Please always try to think about your trades before you take them. I don't mean that in a patronizing way whatsoever, but what do I mean by that? If you look at Pound AUD, at the moment, Pound AUD, from what we can see from the last 2 days, the price is pushing long. If you look at Pound CAD, on the other hand, we can see that we have a bearish market structure. So just because we have two forex pairs that both have the pound as the base currency doesn't mean that you trade them the same direction, because I am seeing a lot of people who they go into jump into pound AUD long, so then they go pound NZD long, pound Swiss franc long. And even though, yes, the pound is a strong currency at times, okay, every currency strength is relative to another. Okay, there are fundamentals that are causing the Canadian dollar to be stronger than the pound, even though the pound has very strong fundamentals due to COVID vaccination and etc. So never just take the price at face value and just go for a trade like, yeah, I'm gonna go long on the pound versus the Canadian dollar, then I'm going to go long on the pound versus the New Zealand dollar. Stick to one pair. The only thing I would advise is, if you want to make some good money, would be to do pair correlation. So something, for example, like, the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar has an inverse relationship with oil. Okay, when oil goes long, USD CAD will go short. Okay, because the Canadian dollar is going to gain strength against the US dollar, because the Canada's main commodity, being a commodity currency, is oil. So things like that have good thought. Don't just take a trade and say, yeah, I'm going to take all of these long, because that's how you build your account. And it also causes you to have what I call information overload, because you look at the pound, every time pound AUD goes long, pound CAD goes short, so you're earning on one trade and losing on the other, can make your mind go a bit funny, and this is not what you want. Okay, so I would say to you guys, please keep it to one pair if you can. Okay, now watching the rest of these pairs now, let's see what's going on here. Now, I'm not a proponent of New Zealand dollar Swiss franc, but we had a good entry up here that we missed. It looks like in this market, we're going to have to go for continuations, because this is a really good entry. I don't really like the candlesticks, how they look, but however, from how the structure of the market is, we have a very good C swing, and we have a potential to actually get all the way back down to the 61 here. Wow. So if we can capture an entry on the way down on this, I definitely would like to. I'm going to watch out for this area here and see if we can get some sort of entry to continue with this. But this is a good trade. This is a good trade. Let's see what else is there. Euro CHF. Really don't like the price action on that. Now, Euro NZD, we've had a very strong long on that. Very strong. The price is currently in H4 supply and could continue from there. I'm hoping that there'll be some pullbacks. Again, I'm not going to rush. And the reason I'm not going to rush is because we have NFPs this week, guys. When the non-farm payrolls are out, guys, there's quite a few things that would happen. All right. The price can do manipulative moves beforehand, and the market algorithm can start to put money in certain order blocks prepared for spikes to stop traders out and etc. Or on the day, the market could decide to be completely quiet. It depends really on the sentiment. It depends on a whole load of things, okay? But one thing about the Forex for sure is that the black box algorithm has a very complex linear regression, machine learning, and it understands how most retail traders think. So please be wise before you go and try to trade the news. And if you're taking trades, don't go in there aimlessly. Think before you take any trade. This is why I'm being wise with my trades. Now, on an update on USD CHF, just like we had with Euro USD, once we had this piece of price action here, the price actually hasn't come back and we're still moving long. So we should be looking for continuation. So sadly, we didn't get to capture the bottoms, but it doesn't mean, I always say if you can't capture the bottom, just capture the move after that and you still should be good. All right, don't get hung up on the fact that you didn't get the deep entry here. Just look for a continuation and ride the wave, okay, on that trend until it's done. This is what I like to do, and this is what I'm really watching for, because a lot of the trades have already done quite a few movements. So my mind right now is rather on the continuation. I'm not really looking for the reversal, but if you want to call it the short-term reversal to continue the trend in the direction it was already going, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so just scanning through these pairs again. So Euro USD is still pushing short. Doesn't look like it's coming back just yet. Pound USD is pushing short. Now it has entered here. Now Pound USD doesn't have to go the same way as Euro USD. Please remember that. They can do different things, but just watching here, just watching this area to see what's going over here. All right. So yeah, here we go. Now the signal I gave was for a return to this area here for a long. All right. And now that the price is kind of spiked to it or nearby, actually has entered into this area. Again, I'm still very specific with how I look at the price. And because it hasn't actually entered into this area, okay, but just came quite close to it, I'm not going to go and put a buy just yet. I'm going to watch it very carefully and see how the price behaves first. And then we'll make some assumptions as to what the price is going to do. Okay. All right. Let's see what else is going on. So USD JPY, if it does give us this 5-minute entry, like you guys can have that. Definitely be looking for that. But looking at this market right now, I would say, guys, we're going to have to come back probably in an hour to see what goes on. So for those of you on YouTube, I hope